Vanakkam, Vandanam, Namaste, Namaskar, good evening and welcome to the Thunderous Thursday's most enlightening show, Post-Mortem with Bala Nagendran only on Radio Run, a Flight of Life. Dear Udaanites, here comes your post-mortem specialist with an impartial analysis to provide you the hidden secrets behind the curtain of an issue. We have been dynamic since the inception of post-mortem. Post-mortem, without a doubt, is bringing enlightenment to all of us. In that sense, today, we are going to have another dissection that's going to be of gigantic in nature. Not only in terms of the content, but in terms of the scope. We are going to talk about one of the going issues, and it will be a going issue forever. And by the way, on this Thursday to 9 p.m. 60 minutes, you should tune into Radio Run, a Flight of Life, the vehicle that transforms your life from stress to bliss. To listen me, Bala Nagendran, live from Chennai on your most enlightening show, Post-Mortem. Today we are going to talk about relationship. Today we are going to talk about relationship. Relationship is most important for an individual, for a family, for a community, for a society, for a state, for a nation, for the world. And we are going to talk about that relationship which has been bound and which is talked a lot this week. Well, Radio Run has been moving forward and forward, and as we have been stepping into the month of July, looking forward ahead to have a journey to jollity. That is the purpose of Radio Run. We are looking forward to your immense contributions. Go to www.radiorun.com, www.radioudan.com to submit your feedback to the shows that you're listening. For instance, if you're listening to Post-Mortem right now, and if you want to give your feedback, surely you should give your feedback for the betterment of your most enlightening show, Post-Mortem. So after 9 o'clock tonight, go to www.radiorun.com, radioudan.com, and find the links of your feedback. Select the show Post-Mortem with Bala Nagendran and rate the show according to your choices. 5 choices will be in front of you. Excellent, very good, good, okay, poor. You have to select according to what you think. It's completely your perception. What do you think about the quality of presentation? What do you think about the RJ? What do you think about the contents presented in the show? What do you think about the show at its entirety? And what are the things that you are looking forward for the betterment of your Post-Mortem? You can also download the playlist. If you don't have the playlist, you can download the playlist to listen to Radio Run by various means. You can also download from the Google Play Store Radio Run's Android app and enjoy Radio Run 24/7. 4 hours of its live, infotainment shows, and 4 hours of its re-webcast, 16 hours of mellifluous musical extravaganza. You can listen this Post-Mortem's re-webcast tomorrow 3 to 4 p.m. We are also on social media as well. Facebook.com/Radio Run is the really simple way to take you to our official page and group where you can share your insights, enlightenments, valid thoughts, ideas, and suggestions in the development of a flight of life. Join us on Facebook, join us on Twitter in order to watch our day-to-day operations and to share your day-to-day operations and to inculcate your objectives with us. If you are interested to become an RJ of Radio Run, you are most welcome to fill up the form. Interested to become RJ on www.radiorun.com. If everything works well, we will approach you and your voice will be heard across the globe by more than 100 countries, and you will kiss the eardrums of more than 25,000 listeners per month. Well, 8:05 on the clock, it's time for us to jump into today's proceedings. As I said in the beginning, we are going to talk about relationship. We are going to talk about an important relationship. This is not about love, because for that you have, they'll say, they'll talk. This is Post-Mortem. Here we are going to blow the pieces. Here we are going to cut the issues into pieces. Here we're going to see and exhume the buried or hidden issues behind the curtains. There is no ironclad grip over an issue in front of Balanagendran and in front of all of you when we are in post-mortem effect. And now the scenario turns electric because of relationship. India has been immaculate this week because of relationship. The Honorable Prime Minister of India has made his itinerary to the continent to establish relationship. And we are going to see tonight the relationship of India and Africa. India and Africa sounds cliche, but there are unexplored, unknown issues. That's why Balanagendran has come with the unknown interesting facts about India-Africa relationship. You can bet on Postmortem that it is the only show that provides you a paramount significant unknown issue at least once in a week. As Thursday is the only day that is available for Postmortem, and 8 to 9 p.m. is the only 60 minutes that we have, but in that 60 minutes we are doing the best to bring you the most unknown issues that could revitalize your sense of learning. That's why enlightenment begins only here on Radio Udaan, a flight of life. That too on Postmortem, and importantly with me, Balanagendran. So today, we are talking about India-Africa relationship. India-Africa, if we have to trace back, India is one of the cradles of civilization. Africa, the cradle of human civilization. According to the scientific and archaeological proofs, it is here, that is, in Africa, approximately 3 lakh years ago, the first human was born. That first human happened to be a woman, says the archaeological and historic sources. Even some scientific research has validated the above said observation. Well, Africa has been the cradle of human civilization without a doubt, because many of the continental shifts, when the times move on in terms of geography, took place from Africa. For example, the Indian plate, which is here in Asia, was near Madagascar during the period where the entire plate has been won, that is Gondwana. So, since geography, since the inception of the concept geography, since the findings have begun to take place, we are finding natural, geographical, historical, cultural, trade, economic and commercial relationships between India and Africa. There might be a difference because before 1947 there were Indian subcontinent that contained Nepal, today's Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar and many more. But after 1947, the free, independent India has established what has been enjoying since time immemorial with the African nations. That's what we are going to dissect today. The historic, cultural, heritage, trade, economic, cybersecurity, defense, and all the cooperations between India and Africa. How far India has excelled its relationship in terms of diplomacy and people-to-people contact between Africa, the darkest continent of the world. India, the world's largest democracy. Africa, the world's largest unexplored region. The continent which surpasses through all the 3 dissected lines of Capricorn, Cancer, Equator, and so forth, has to be explored tonight. That's why we have come here between India and Africa to present you the mortem of what is happening in the relationship of India and Africa. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to Radio Udaan, Flight of Life, and keep listening Postmortem with me, Bala Nagendran, live from Chennai, where we are dissecting India-Africa relationship. More interesting and phenomenal informations are awaited in the next link.
यार सुमित, एक बात पूछूं?
हाँ पूछो।
तुम्हारे सारे फ्रेंड्स स्टिक यूज करते हैं, पर तुम क्यों नहीं करते?
यार मुझे स्टिक के साथ चलना बहुत अटपटा लगता है और लुक भी तो बिगड़ जाती है ना अपनी।
अच्छा, मुझे तो ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं लगता। तुम एक मिनट यहीं रुको, मैं जरा अपनी इंस्टॉलमेंट पे करके आती हूँ और कहीं जाना मत यहाँ से।
ठीक है। हेलो श्रेया।
हाँ सुमित।
यार कितना समय हो गया, कहाँ हो तुम?
माय गॉड, आई एम सो सॉरी सुमित। मुझे मेरी एक फ्रेंड मिल गई और मैं उसके साथ निकल गई। मैं भूल ही गई थी कि तुम मेरे साथ थे।
काश कि आपने सही समय पर केन का इस्तेमाल सीख लिया होता तो आज हालात ऐसे न होते। इसीलिए दोस्तों कीजिए केन से दोस्ती, क्योंकि नो केन नो गेन।
ओम मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुध्वजा।
भक्तजनों, इस मोह माया से भरी संसार में ना जाने कितनी ही दिक्कतें एवं परेशानियों ने सबको फुलटू फंसा रखा है और दुनियादारी में टोटली उलझा रखा है। परंतु चिंता का कोई विषय नहीं है प्रिय भक्तों, क्योंकि इन दिक्कतों से कुछ ना होता। देवी डिम्पल लेकर आ रही हैं इन सारी समस्याओं का समाधान। तो अब से एवरी फ्राइडे 8 to 9 PM सोशल कीड़े सर चढ़ के बोलेंगे in all is well with RJ Dimple on your favorite Radio Udaan, a flight of life.
लो आ गई नई आजादी।
मगर बताओ तो सही, कौन सी है ये नई आजादी?
ये आजादी है हमें और भी करीब से सुनने की।
वो कैसे?
वो ऐसे कि अब आप हमें सुन सकते हो हमारे ऑफिशियली एंड्रॉइड ऐप के माध्यम से, जो कि अवेलेबल है गूगल प्ले स्टोर पर।
तो आज ही डाउनलोड करें रेडियो उड़ान का ऑफिशियल ऐप और आनंद लें एक नई आजादी का। रेडियो उड़ान, अ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
न फिक्र करो बीते लम्हों की कि कल का सूरज निकलना बाकी है। मिल जाएंगी मंजिलें आपको हमेशा कि आपके हौसलों की उड़ान बाकी है। सुनते रहिए रेडियो उड़ान, द फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
Well, India-Africa relationship we trace back. It is since time immemorial. But as far as we have discovered, we are trying to put you some insightful and path-breaking informations. India and Africa shared historic relationship. If we trace back to the ancient India, there were scenes of trade between Syria and Indian subcontinent. There were trade between Ethiopia, Zanzibar, and many African regions with western, northern, and southern Indias. The region of India at that time has been segregated and split into various kingdoms. Despite such segregations and splits, Africa enjoyed cordial relationship. Gold, diamond, lot of grains have been exchanged in terms of cotton and silk. If we trace the footprints to medieval period, many African citizens or many Africans have entered into India and joined in larger numbers in the Mughals army and served in the Muslim army and stayed here itself. They are known as Siddhis. According to the evidences extracted from Egypt, it has been proven that during 8th century BC, the Egyptians had trade relationship with India on cotton and silk to wrap their Egyptian mummies. Let's know that Egyptians are known for preserving the dead corpse, known as mummies. In the year 1503 to 1508, Africa has had a good relationship through naval transactions from Berber and Durban ports from Gujarat and Kochi. In the year 1657, the then King Aurangzeb received the emissary sent from the African region called Abyssinia. In the year 1692 to 93, the Indian-African relationship has attained its peak in terms of business transactions, especially with Ethiopia. In the year 1860, India made a law banning the slaves and trade on human between India and Africa. In the year 1880, the first telegraph line between India and Zanzibar has been finished. In the year 1882, a submarine has been sent to obstruct the blockades of Suez Canal to increase India-Africa relationship. In the year 1893, India sent Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi to attend a commercial or civil case in South Africa, which in turn given us Mahatma Gandhi. In the year 1906, to prohibit and to abolish the racial discriminations and partial treatment of the Indians in South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi has taken a passive resistance. In the year 1907 and 1908, there were Transvaal March and greatest protests among the racially discriminated and the Indian origin people. In the year 1914, there was an understanding agreement between Gandhi and Smuts. In the year 1926, due to the passive resistance and the protests and prolonged penetration of Gandhian philosophy, paved a way for the African Congress and the National Congress to sign the agreement which has granted the equivalent rights to the Indians in South Africa. In the year 1932, Kunwar Singh has been appointed as the in charge of Indian Africans on behalf of Gandhiji. Apart from these historic evidences, India-Africa enjoys archaeological uniqueness and coincidence as well. In fact, it has to be said an archaeological or cultural correlation. Many of the Indian languages have its origin in Africa. Many African languages have ceased to exist at present, but many of its prints can be found in almost all the Indian authorized languages. Africa, as we have said in the beginning, the cradle of human civilization, provides a lot of insights to those who want to explore. Still, Africa is known as the darkest continent because there were still a lot of places yet to be explored. On the other hand, Africa occupies some phenomenal facts that has to be understood. It occupies the 20% of the globe. The continent is 1/5 of the entire geographical region. The population of the entire Africa is 1.32 billion, slightly higher than India as a country, which has 1.28 billion. Africa has been segregated into 54 separate dominions or countries. Some are democratic, some are monarchic. Africa has naturally gifted resources, but at the same time, the sub-Saharan Africa has the diabolical standard of living. More than 140 million have no pure water. More than 200 million have no electricity. Africa is the region for the birth of many diseases like Ebola, Zika, dengue, AIDS, and so forth. The city of Cameroon is known as the birthplace of AIDS. However, let's get back to the business of India-Africa relationship. Well, before independence, India and Africa have been under the hands of imperialism. Africa has been brutally sabotaged by Spanish, French, Portuguese, British, Americans, Germany, Russia, Japan, and so forth. Especially the scramble for Africa has been of historic dark events. Especially the travelers like Stanley Rhodes have been of brutal in nature. African region have been tarnished. Massacres have been of common event. Genocide has been a day-to-day operation. All the events have a similarity in India. Before the entry of the British East India Company, the Indian economy was 25% of the global economic GDP. But when the British left India, it was below 3%. The same has been experienced in Africa. And also, many similarities between India and Africa in terms of imperialism. The only difference is that India was under the British to some extent as a whole, but Africa has been cut into pieces and sphere of influence. After independence, India went on first to recognize the necessity to decolonize the African region. India's independence in the year 1947 has paved the way for the protests, passive resistance, non-violent movement, and that has given a phenomenal growth to Gandhian ideology. Not only Nelson Mandela of South Africa, but many leaders from Ghana, Namibia, Ethiopia, Angola, Congo, and many more in Africa that has witnessed the independence since 1960 have followed the footprints of Gandhi. In that sense, India's independence has been the starting point of Africa's liberation. Still, Africa faced worst discriminate treatment in terms of racism and apartheid. India, since its independence, went on to acknowledge Africa as its close ally. India and Africa not only naturally bound friends, but that has more significance in terms of geography, culture, as we said, and people. In terms of geography, both the countries, India as a country, Africa as a continent, shares the same ocean known as Indian Ocean. So as a shore neighbor, India has a responsibility as an independent free nation to propagate and to proliferate the idea of non-violence and being let free of governance. The first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, has went on to acknowledge Africa's decolonization. Although the British and the other scrambled imperial suppressive powers have been adamant, finally, people's will has won. Africa begun to loosen the screws of imperial chain. Finally, the chains have been broken and African region attained independence, which has opened the door for India to penetrate her footprints to establish one of the largest trade, economic, people and military cooperations. 1954 Bandung Conference of Non-Aligned Movement have been a significant achievement and a fruit step to attain what we are today between India and Africa. Today, the Prime Minister of India has paid a visit from last Thursday to 11th of July to 4 countries, namely Mozambique, South Africa, Kenya, and Tanzania, respectively. But there were various leaders who have went on to enjoy a lot of receptions on both sides in terms of economic cooperation. We are going to see trade, economic, defense, cyber, military, and educational cooperation between India and Africa. But before that, we have greater responsibility to look into what happened between 1950 and 1970, as India has been a newborn independent baby. When India has been a newborn independent baby of 1947, it has, despite a lot of obstacles, domestic and external neighborhood conflicts, went on to provide all the assistance to Africa. In the non-aligned movement, African nations have been added profusely. India has went on to campaign for non-racism and against apartheid. The then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru has even blocked the diplomatic ties with the apartheid regime, which has made the globally acknowledged international communities, including the United Nations, to raise up the chin and to suspend South Africa from all sorts of cooperation from the different countries. Africa as a region which has more tribes even today. It has multifaceted, multifarious cultural, lingual, religious compilation, which is similar to India. If Africa is the global continent, India is a miniature of globe. In that sense, India shares cordial relationship with almost every country of Africa, not only with one single country in specificity. Even India enjoys cordial, positive and friendly relationship with the toppled, stifling countries due to war like Syria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt and so forth. Especially in Syria, India has earned a diplomatic respect. In Libya, the country that has helped at the time of Kargil war through distributing oil and petroleum and fueling capabilities to the aircrafts of Indian Air Force. Well, the clock is about to strike 8:30 on the clock, and we need to see more and more information about India and Africa relationship. We have just seen from 1950 to 70. There are a lot of informations after 70, especially after the doors of liberalization, privatization and globalization have been opened in the year 1991 in India. And what happened in the 21st century, how far the trade, economic cooperation has grown between India and Africa. What are the similarities and dissimilarities? How far the balance of trade stands between India and Africa. What happened? Why the balance of trade is positive to Africa and negative to India in terms of trade and balance of trade. We are going to see everything in the coming links, but for now, let's have a short break only on Radio Udaan, a Flight of Life. This is your most enlightening show, Post-Mortem with Bala Nagendran.
कभी तड़प, कभी तन्हाई, कभी बेबसी, तो कभी इंतजार।
ये मर्जी क्या खूब है ना, जिसे
मोहब्बत कहते हैं। तो मामला हो टूटे दिल का, या आपको आपके अपने ही कर रहे हो नजरअंदाज,
क्योंकि स्नेहा के पास है इन सब का इलाज।
अब से हर शनिवार रात 8 से 9 नजर आएंगे प्यार के कुछ नए रंग इन नजराना प्यार का। मेरा अजय स्नेहा ओनली ऑन रेडियो ऑफ फ्लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।
नैब इंडिया यानी नेशनल एसोसिएशन फॉर द ब्लाइंड इंडिया की सबसे पुरानी संस्था है, जहां दृष्टिहीनों के लिए शिक्षा, रोजगार और पुनर्वसन की सेवा दी जाती है।
नैब इंडिया पर संपर्क करने के लिए हमें ईमेल करें hsg@nabindia.info पर। आप हमें कॉल भी कर सकते हैं। हमारा नंबर है 02266838637।
यार ब्लाइंड होने का एक प्रॉब्लम है, मन करता है अच्छे अच्छे रेस्टोरेंट्स में जाऊं और नई नई डिश ट्राई करूं, पर मेन्यू ही नहीं पढ़ पाता।
हाँ, और वेटर से पूरा मेन्यू तो नहीं पढ़वा सकते, और हर आइटम की प्राइस पूछते हुए शर्म आती है।
जानती हो, ये प्रॉब्लम लो विजन वालों और सीनियर सिटीजन्स को भी आती है। रेस्टोरेंट्स में लाइटिंग भी तो बहुत कम होती है ना।
कभी कभी सोचती हूँ कि घर से खाना ऑर्डर कर दूं, लेकिन आसपास के रेस्टोरेंट पता करना और उनके मेन्यू जानना कितना मुश्किल है। कोई इसके लिए कुछ करता क्यों नहीं?
उन सब लोगों के लिए जिनको रेस्टोरेंट मेन्यू पढ़ने में दिक्कत होती है, इंडिया का पहला एक्सेसिबल रेस्टोरेंट फाइंडर एंड मेन्यू रीडिंग ऐप गुड फूड टॉक्स लॉन्च हो गया है। अब अपने मोबाइल, टैबलेट या कंप्यूटर पे कभी भी कहीं भी आप अपने आसपास के रेस्टोरेंट का नाम, एड्रेस, फोन नंबर और मेन्यू आसानी से पढ़ सकते हैं। बस गुड फूड टॉक्स ऐप एंड्रॉइड प्ले स्टोर से डाउनलोड करें। अपने कंप्यूटर या आईफोन पर www.goodfoodtalks.in that is goodfoodtalks.in खोलें और एंजॉय करें।
अरे वाह, मजा आ गया। देखो तो पास में कौन कौन से रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं।
विकलांगों की आवश्यकताओं के अनुरूप समाज में बाधा रहित निर्माण ही है विकलांगजनों के लिए सहज जीवन का एहसास।
सहज सुगम विकलांग का जीवन, समय की है आवाज यही, सुगम्य भारत अभियान सफल हो, सरकार का है प्रयास यही।
सार्वजनिक भवनों, सरकारी कार्यालयों, स्कूल, अस्पताल, पुलिस स्टेशन आदि के साथ साथ विभिन्न परिवहन व्यवस्थाओं जैसे रेलवे स्टेशन, बस स्टॉप, एयरपोर्ट आदि को विकलांग जनों की आवश्यकताओं के अनुरूप सुगम बनाया जा रहा है,
ताकि दृष्टि बाधित, श्रवण बाधित तथा अन्य विकलांगजन बाधा रहित जीवन के सुखद एहसास से गुजर सके।
अधिक जानकारी www.disabilityaffairs.gov.in से हासिल करें।
सुगम्य भारत, सशक्त भारत,
विकलांग जन सशक्तिकरण विभाग, भारत सरकार।
एक मंच जहां मिलती है महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियाँ,
सवाल हो और जवाब दूं।
एक मंच जहां होते हैं हंसी और ठहाके।
वाह। एक मंच जहां होती हैं चर्चाएं।
दूसरी वाली आपको नहीं समर्पित करूंगा।
कीजिए, बड़े स्पोर्टिंग है।
आप पहले सुन लीजिए, उसके बाद कहिएगा आपको चाहिए समर्पण के नहीं चाहिए।
एक मंच जहां मिलेगा लोकप्रिय संगीत।
और इन सब के बीच एक ऐसा मंच जहां मिलता है सब कुछ। लॉग ऑन कीजिए www.radioudaan.com और जुड़ जाइए हमारे साथ।
As we have been moving towards 1970, before that we need to delve into some chilling relationship between India and Africa, especially. When we talk about India and Africa, we are not going to talk about any country in specificity. There are some countries that still enjoy the most positive relationship with India. At the same time, there are some countries that have some meltdown. But there is no country which considers India as its rivalry. The entire 54 country, which is the third of the total United Nations General Assembly membership, which occupies a substantial part in non-aligned movement, and a country that enjoys a specific union at a forum, has a unanimous support to India in its bid to become the permanent membership. And also, it supports India's entry into almost every export control regime, one of them we have witnessed in the post-mortem few weeks ago. And on the conclusion of the visit of the Prime Minister of India to 4 nations of Africa, we need to talk here about India-Africa relationship, which has taken into another unique twist. As we have been talking about Nehru's policy towards Africa, which is full of cooperation, liberation, and equality, has went on to become selective thanks to Indo-China War of 1962. After 1962 India-China War, India started to consider Africa not as a bloc, but went on to become selective in making friends. And in the year 1965, India and Africa have shared a lot of treaties to recognize African fight against apartheid. In the year 1967, India recognized the African National Congress and granted diplomatic acknowledgement, which means the African National Congress has the immunity that are granted to the diplomat, but at the same time it also has the capability to technology and information sharing. Similarly, in the year 1985, India has given the same diplomatic acknowledgement to Southwest African People's Organization, SWAPO, that has been fighting against racial discrimination in Namibia. Namibia has been the country that has also hit the headlines when the President of India paid a visit, where the uranium transaction has been of significant importance. Well, now, India was in a position during 70s to make Africa reach to it. Since independence, India has been lending hands of help for peace, prosperity, and dignified standard of living. But the 70s have been topsy-turvy, where India has to prove itself that it is a competent partner. The 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War and India's victory in that war has created Africa's eyes to gaze at the country. And more importantly, the 1974, the first nuclear experiment by India, which put the pedestal of Indian military into one of the powered hi-fi militaries of the world, made Africa to come to the conclusion that India can't be avoided. And Africa then went on to pursue good quality relationship with India. A lot of sharings of diplomats and leaders. The countries like Mozambique and Kenya have been visited by Indira Gandhi in the year 1982 and 1981 respectively. And South Africa and Tanzania were recently visited by Manmohan Singh, the former Prime Minister, in 2011 and 2013. All these 4 countries have been visited by the current Prime Minister Modi last week. This is how India establishes its relationship with African region. Now it's time for us to look into trade. India-Africa relationship, especially trade, has taken a sudden bolt from the blue from 1991. After the doors of LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization has been opened, India went on to pursue its investment and went on to receive a lot of investments. As we all know, The largest foreign direct investment, FDI, comes from one of the African nations, that is Mauritius. India also has a lot of investments in other areas. In fact, India has no competition in such areas where it has made its investment. Agriculture, pharmacy, medicine, health, education, human resource development, military, defense, and so forth. In the year 1998 to 2008, the India-Africa trade has taken a gigantic thrust. And in the year 2003 to 2008, the trade has multiplied to fivefold from merely a 2.5 billion to 7.8 billion. At present, it is more than 18 billion. And in order to talk, if we talk about imports and exports, it is more than 32 billion. However, the balance of trade is positive in terms of Africa and negative in terms of India. How? The exports between India and Africa, that too, the exports from Africa to India amounts to 18.5 billion. And the import from India to Africa is 13.2 billion, which means India exports lesser than what it imports between Africa. Hence, India has trade deficit and Africa has trade surplus. When we speak about trade, it is necessary to talk about military cooperation. Since 1960, India has chosen African nations to assist in terms of military institutions. It has provided training to numerous African nation defense forces as it lacks military institutions. The greatest demerit of Africa is lack or no proper quality military institutions. Hence, India has begun to train its personnel in terms of logistics and management, anti-marine warfare, anti-submarine trainings, the trainings on Air Force, the trainings on anti-missile warfare, the training on cyber security as well. In the year 2008 alone, India has provided training to 1,300 different African armed forces personnel. And thus, India enjoys one of the greatest strategic relationships. The recent sales of a vessel to guard the Seychelles waters is another leap in India's relationship with Africa in terms of defense and marine policy. India contains and India conducts an assertive as part of its Indian Ocean maritime policy. Thus, India experiences cordial relationship with India and Africa in terms of protecting its marine integrity. When we speak about economy, as we have already said, India's investment in Africa has risen up to 70 to 80 billion. The recent Indian-African Forum Summit has proven to be of more valid than anything else since the beginning of 21st century. If 21st century is the year of Asia, the future is Africa.
रेडियो उड़ान पर मैं आरजे निशा लेकर आ रही हूँ एंटरटेनमेंट एंड एंटरटेनमेंट। क्या आप रूबरू होना चाहते हैं फिल्म जगत की लेटेस्ट खबरों से? जानना चाहते हैं किसका हो रहा है ब्रेकअप या फिर किसने किसको किया है टेकअप? कौन सी मूवी है इस हफ्ते की ब्लॉकबस्टर या किसकी जेब को लग रहा है चूना? इन सभी खबरों के लिए बी विद मी एवरी सैटरडे 7 to 8 p.m. and re-webcast every Sunday 2 to 3 p.m. only on Radio Udaan, a flight of life.
रेडियो उड़ान सुन रहे सभी मित्रों को मेरा प्यार भरा नमस्कार। मेरा नाम मधु सिंघल है। मैं बेंगलोर में कार्यरत संस्था मित्र ज्योति, जो पिछले 25 वर्षों से दृष्टिहीनों एवं दूसरे विकलांग व्यक्तियों के लिए कार्यरत है, उसकी मैनेजिंग ट्रस्टी हूँ। इस संस्था की गतिविधियाँ इस प्रकार हैं। यहाँ पर दृष्टिहीनों के लिए ऑडियो में पुस्तकें रिकॉर्ड की जाती हैं। इसके साथ साथ ब्रेल में और स्कैन्ड पुस्तकें भी उनको दी जा रही हैं। कंप्यूटर प्रशिक्षण और रोजगार की सुविधाएं भी यहाँ प्रदान की जा रही हैं। दृष्टिहीन महिलाओं के लिए एक विशेष प्रकार का कोर्स चलाया जाता है, जिसमें उन्हें आत्मनिर्भर बनकर जीवन में आगे बढ़ने की क्षमता प्रदान की जा रही है। आप मित्र ज्योति से संपर्क कर सकते हैं। यहाँ का फोन नंबर है 08022587623 और 22587625। ईमेल एड्रेस है admin.office@mitrajyoti.org। वेबसाइट है www.mitrajyoti.org।
आलू है, गोभी है, मटर, टमाटर।
आलू है, गोभी है, मटर, टमाटर बाबूजी एकदम बढ़िया ताजा है।
सेब है, एकदम मीठा सेब बाबूजी, एकदम मीठा सेब ले लो।
अरे बाबूजी सेब ले लो, सेब एकदम मीठे हैं, बढ़िया एकदम। ले लो बाबूजी।
अरे भैया ये सेब क्या भाव दिए?
अरे बाबूजी ले लो, 120 रुपए किलो हैं।
अच्छे हैं?
अरे एकदम बढ़िया बाबूजी, कश्मीरी सेब हैं।
अच्छा अच्छा, 2 किलो दे दो।
दे रहे हैं बाबूजी अभी। ले बाबूजी।
अरे रे रे, 1 मिनट, तुम इन्हें पॉलीथीन में क्यों पैक कर रहे हो? ये बहुत खतरनाक होती है, क्या तुम्हें पता नहीं है?
बाबूजी ये कैसे?
देखो, जब हम इन पन्नियों का यूज करते हैं तो इसमें रखा सामान खाने योग्य नहीं होता। दूसरा, जब हम इसे फेंकते हैं तो पशु पक्षियों के लिए भी खतरनाक साबित होता है। पानी में डालें तो पानी को भी दूषित करता है और साथ ही साथ हमारी नन्ही नन्ही मछलियां इसमें फंस जाती हैं, जिससे उनका दम घुट जाता है। या फिर हम इन पॉलीथीन बैग्स को जलाएं तो उससे निकलने वाली गैस जैसे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से हमारी स्वच्छ वायु दूषित हो जाती है। तो ऐसी खतरनाक चीज का हम उपयोग क्यों करें भला?
सही कहा बाबूजी आपने। अब हम कबहू ना प्लास्टिक का थैला इस्तेमाल करीब। अब तो हम हमेशा कपड़े का थैला इस्तेमाल करीब और पन्नी का भी इस्तेमाल नहीं करीब।
दोस्तों, ये तो समझ गए, और आप नहीं समझे तो समझ जाइए।
रेडियो उड़ान द्वारा जनहित में जारी।
Visit on www.radioudan.com।
प्रतिभा की पहचान,
प्रज्ञा की मुस्कान,
सबलांगों का साथी, ये है रेडियो उड़ान।
रेडियो उड़ान के प्रोग्राम्स की जानकारी के लिए, शोज में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए, किसी भी शो को फीडबैक देने के लिए, आर्काइव रिक्वेस्ट करने के लिए, आरजे बनने के लिए और अपने फेवरेट आरजेस की प्रोफाइल्स पढ़ने के लिए लॉग ऑन करें www.radioudan.com। स्काइप आईडी रेडियो उड़ान, ईमेल mail@radioudan.com। रेडियो उड़ान, a flight of life।
It's 8:49 on the clock, and thus we have entered into the last segment of today's postmortem, where we are dissecting India-Africa relationship as we need to move into military and cyber warfare. The world is moving towards another twist. It might be sick to know the Third World War could be for water, says the environmentalists. If it happens, that would be through cyber warfare. That's why every country on the planet is showing itself to equip with cyber security, to uplift Africa, in terms of cybersecurity, India-Africa has signed important treaty on technology transfer. It also provides online education. The specific motto of India in Africa is to provide education to the masses, because the African youth have also larger in number compared to India's. To fulfill the gap of requirements of youth in a decade from now, India has went on to provide educational training, that too through online courses, because lack of infrastructure in various African regions provides difficult opportunities to those who want to pursue higher education. And thus, India has opened EduNet kind of organizations where it provides online educations, where more than 13,000 students have been benefited. Solar Mamas. More than 43 women of various African countries have met the Prime Minister Narendra Modi this week as a part of India's contribution to uplift solar energy and its utilization through Solar Mamas. Solar Mamas is training the elderly women about the usage and the benefits of solar energy, through which they will propagate to their region and to the youngsters. At the same time, India also enjoys a cordial understanding between people-to-people contract, especially India's ITEC, ITEC, Indian Trade and Economic Cooperation. ITEC has given larger contribution to Africa. India has signed this ITEC with many regional blocs like EU, SAARC, ASEAN, TPP is expected, but the largest continent which receives the contribution of ITEC is Africa. More than 130,000 African students have gained through ITEC. At the same time, India has also established new partnership and African development, NEPAD, through which India is cruising to increase its diplomatic relationship. In the year 2010, India has launched the satellite of Algeria, and thus India has used its space indigenous and scientific capabilities as a part of its diplomatic tie. India enjoys the military cooperation with many African nations like South Africa, Libya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and so forth. India's relationship with Africa has been increasing from twofold to threefold to tenfold. And in future, without a tint of doubt, India is going to be one of the world's largest growing economies, and Africa is going to be the fastest growing continent on the planet. Well, friends, if that note, it's time for me to take a leave and to pave a way for the technocratic show on Radio Udaan Tech City from 9 to 10 p.m. Let's sit together and listen Tech City, what's going to be today from 9 to 10 p.m. Followed by 10 to 11 p.m. Dil Se Dil Tak. I'll meet you all on this Sunday, 8 to 9 p.m. in your most informative show, World This Week, with a little snapshot of what happened across the globe in the 7 days. Till then, take care of yourself. If possible, take care of others. Don't forget to feedback on www.radioudaan.com about postmortem. What do you feel about today's postmortem? What are the things that you look forward to be improved? So here, Balanagadan signs off from your most enlightening show, Postmortem, saying good night, buenas noches, vanakkam.
तेरी दिल में ढंढन हो गया मैं तेरा हायर जबरा फैन हो गया।
बरखुदार ये जो फैन होते हैं वो 2 टाइप्स के होते हैं, एक फैन जिसके चक्कर में लोग भागते हैं और एक दूसरा फैन जो अपने चक्कर में लोगों को भगाता है।
ओह माय गॉड, सलमान खान! ओए 15 अप्रैल फैन मूवी शाहरुख खान की और मैं ना देखूं, इम्पॉसिबल।
Really, one punch.
फैन की पलटन यानी कि मेरी पलटन, आपने सुना क्या?
रेडियो उड़ान प्रेजेंट जबरा वाला फैन।
हाय डियर, दिस इज अंकिता और मैं शाहरुख खान की बहुत बड़ी वाली जबरी वाली फैन हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे उनकी एक्टिंग बहुत पसंद है, उनकी पर्सनालिटी पसंद है और मुझे पूरे के पूरे शाहरुख बहुत पसंद है और मैं उनकी ये वाली मूवी जरूर देखने वाली हूँ, क्योंकि मैं उनकी जबरी वाली फैन हूँ।
हाय, दिस इज पार्थ सुंदरा फ्रॉम गुजरात, बड़ौदा से। मैं आईटी बर्मन यानी कि राहुल देव बर्मन जी का बहुत बड़ा फैन हूँ। उनकी कंपोजिशन, म्यूजिक कंपोजिशन, ये सब मुझे बहुत प्यारी लगती है और एक आर्टिस्ट होने के नाते मैं उनको बहुत फॉलो करता हूँ। मैं उनका बहुत 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 बड़ा जबरा वाला फैन हूँ।
हाय, मैं हूँ शालू और मैं अजय देवगन की जबरा फैन हूँ, क्योंकि मुझे उनके स्टाइल, एक्टिंग सब बहुत पसंद है और उनका जो मेन शायरी बोलने का अंदाज है वो तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
हाय, मैं अहमदाबाद से गुजरात से पार्थ बात कर रहा हूँ। जब फैन की बात हो रही है तो मैं शाहरुख खान का जबरा वाला फैन हूँ, क्योंकि शाहरुख खान की जो भी मूवी आती है वो मुझे बहुत बढ़िया लगती है और उसके जो एक्टिंग करते हैं वो भी एक्टिंग बहुत बढ़िया होती है, जिससे मैं शाहरुख खान का जबरा वाला फैन हूँ।
हेलो एवरीवन, मैं हूँ रवि लखनऊ से और मेरे फेवरेट हैं सबके फेवरेट सलमान खान। मैं हूँ उनका सबसे जबरा वाला फैन, क्योंकि उनके स्टाइल, उनका लुक्स, उनके डांसिंग, उनका एक्टिंग मुझे सब कुछ बहुत पसंद है और वो सब कुछ जबरदस्त है। वो सच रियल बीइंग ह्यूमन है। मैं हूँ सलमान खान का जबरा वाला फैन।
हेलो एवरीवन, तो मैं यानी कि डेविड जोशी का जबरा वाला फैन और कोई नहीं, हमारी सबसे खूबसूरत और सबसे प्यारी आरजे धड़कन यानी कि आप ही हमारे सबसे वाला जबरा वाला फैन हो, क्योंकि सच में जब से मैं आपको सुनता आया हूँ आपसे सबसे बड़ा फैन हो गया हूँ, क्योंकि आपके जो बोलने का अंदाज है, जो आपका आवाज की कमाल है, पर्दे के पीछे रहकर भी जिस तरह आप ऑडियंस को पकड़े रहते हो, तारीफ के काबिल है और इसी अंदाज पे तो मैं फिदा हो गया हूँ। सो डेविड जोशी का जबरा वाला फैन आरजे धड़कन।
खातिरदारी में कमी नहीं छोड़ेंगे, आपकी ख्वाहिशों को सर आंखों पे रखेंगे, क्योंकि आप हैं तो हम हैं, बाकी सब कम है। तो बरगुदार अपने कानपुर के स्पीकर का वॉल्यूम और आंखों के पिक्सल का रेजोल्यूशन बढ़ा लीजिए, क्योंकि मैं यानी आरजे धड़कन लेकर आ रही हूँ जबरा वाला फैन इस शुक्रवार शाम 7 से 8 बजे ऑन एयर रेडियो उड़ान ऑफ लाइट ऑफ लाइफ।